Prime Minister Narendra Modi has met Sri Lanka President Anura Kumara Dissanayake in Colombo, and now Prime Minister Modi had also received the Guard of Honour in Sri Lanka a short while ago. Now Prime Minister Modi, who is on a 3-day state visit to Sri Lanka, do remember viewers, this is his 4th visit since taking office. He was also welcomed at the airport by the key ministers of the Sri Lankan government. Modi, who is set to hold high-level talks with the President Dissanayake, review bilateral projects and inaugurate several new initiatives that have been backed by Indian assistance. Remember, this is also the Prime Minister's first visit since President Dissanayake has taken office. Agreements are also expected in key areas like defense, technology and energy. With India and Sri Lanka sharing a deep historical and cultural tie, it makes Sri Lanka all the more integral part of India's neighbourhood first policy. Prime Minister Modi will also be carrying forward India's initiative to help Sri Lanka rebuild after the 2022 economic crisis battered the island nation. In fact, on Sunday, that's tomorrow, the Prime Minister will also visit the sacred Jaya Sri Mahabodhi temple in Anuradhapura and open major railway projects linking Sri Lanka's north to Colombo. Several defence pacts are also expected on the state visit of Prime Minister Modi, with the focus largely staying on strengthening the maritime ties as well as the defence pacts and also helping the island nation improve its economic progress, which has been battered by the 2022 crisis. Prime Minister Modi earlier met with President Dissanayake and also received the ceremonial Guard of Honour, which has been the highest honour that has been given to a leader by the Sri Lankan government in recent times. Now, do note that Sri Lanka has definitely rolled out the red carpet for Prime Minister Modi, as he was the first visitor to Sri Lanka President Dissanayake after he has taken office as well. Now, the focus largely remains on the defence, the technology, as well as strengthening the maritime ties amid fears of China and its role in the South Asia region. And several Ministry of MOUs are also being exchanged between India and Sri Lanka, with largely focus still remaining on the defence and maritime. These are the live visuals that you can see of the bilateral exchanges being made at the moment. Several key MOUs are also expected, and we'll bring you all the details on that as well. But these are the live visuals coming in at the moment of President Dissanayake and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Colombo. Now, there's also going to be a strong push for strengthening the energy and the defense as well as the technology collaboration, in which India has been a forefront. I'm joined live by my colleague Gauri, who's joining us live from Colombo, who's been extensively covering Prime Minister Modi's visit to the island nation as well. Gauri, help us understand about the key MOUs and the bilateral boost that we can expect here on.
On several fronts, in fact, Priyanka, this could be very significant. One is the fact that Prime Minister Modi has been accorded, and this is very important to really understand the context of the meeting, which is that Prime Minister Modi has been accorded the ceremonial welcome that a head of state gets. As the head of the government, for him to get the salute, 5 ministers receiving him, the entire cabinet waiting for him at the ceremonial welcome, is indicative of the importance that Dissanayake and his government have put on this visit. And which is why the agreements in the field of agriculture, likely to be in the field of energy, is going to be very important in terms of building and really taking on Sri Lanka's economy going forward, because it comes in at the back of an acknowledgement from Sri Lankan political landscape and thinkers and businessmen that it was India's help and assistance that really lifted the country out of its worst economic disaster. So to that extent, this meeting is important and indicative of the relevance and its potential in terms of elevating the India-Sri Lanka relationship.
Also, Gauri, there's been strained relations between India and the South Asian neighbors such as Bangladesh and Nepal in recent times, unfortunately. And this visit of Prime Minister Modi is also likely to perhaps strengthen the maritime ties, which have also been a matter of concern, with China really getting involved in the maritime region as well.
Indeed. So the maritime security aspect is likely to be a very prominent feature in terms of discussions between the two sides. and also the fact that it could really build on the kind of trust and confidence that the both leaders may have in terms of the relationship and its future. Maritime security is also the reason why a possible defense cooperation and a possible defense pact is on the anvil. It is being discussed. What form and shape it takes, of course, we'll have to wait for the joint statement to come out. But if it does, it is because of maritime security and India's concerns around it.
Right, Gauri. Also, just help us understand when you say that, in terms of agricultural boost, that India is also likely to sort of help out Sri Lanka on that front. What can we expect when it comes to the agricultural boost that you spoke about earlier?
So agriculture, it could also be in terms of agri-equipment, it could be in terms of agri-produce, it could be in terms of agri-technology. Sri Lanka, in fact, is largely an agri-economy. It gets its largest tourists from India. So to that extent, helping Sri Lanka is very important, and they need to really look at India to be able to do that. Agriculture, lifting agriculture, either through technology or through other aspects, would actually lift Sri Lankan economy very significantly, which is why some of those pacts and MOUs will have some feature, as expected, will have some feature pertaining to the agri-economy aspect as well.
Right, Gauri. Thank you so much for getting us all the latest on Prime Minister Modi, but also just help us really understand now that you spoke about the bilateral boost that we can expect in terms of agriculture and maritime as well. Now, just to give us viewers a context, now there's been strained relationship between Nepal and Bangladesh, as well as Pakistan, which has always been strained in a certain stage. In terms of the geopolitical landscape and the importance of Sri Lanka when it comes to defense and security itself, how is that sort of helpful for India if they were to sort of contribute a lot more?
Yes, in terms of the neighborhood, there are some challenges right now, particularly with regard to the Bangladesh revolution that happened last year. But also there, it's important to point out that the Prime Minister did meet Muhammad Yunus as well. So there is an expectation that if the vitriolic statements from Bangladesh's side reduce, then the possibility of normalcy is very much on the horizon. Now, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, some of the other developments that are happening in the neighborhood, Nepal being another, but Nepal is not as sensitive as Bangladesh, but it also highlights India's focus in terms of its neighborhood first policy, where it's prioritizing its immediate neighborhood, it's prioritizing the Indian Ocean region, and which is why this meeting and this visit is that much more important and relevant for New Delhi.
Also, Gauri, with India stepping up to sort of resolve the economic crisis of the island nation as well, what steps are likely to take center stage?
Okay, so what major issues that could really come up, as I mentioned, energy could be another very important aspect. There's also going to be a solar power plant that will be remotely inaugurated by the two leaders shortly after their joint statement and when the MOUs are exchanged. So that will be very interesting and something to watch out for. So power being one of them, energy being another aspect. So those, I think, would be really essentially the highlights in terms of this visit. Besides, of course, as I mentioned, the and focus regarding defense.
Also, Gauri, with Prime Minister Modi being in Sri Lanka, the issue of the Kachitivu island has also come to the fore, with Lanka also releasing two Lankan fishermen also being released. So on that front, because the fishing boundaries in the international waters have also been a matter of controversy, is that something that we can look forward to in terms of a resolution as well?
See, issues regarding the persistent issue with regard to Indian fishermen is something that's a recurring issue. It's not the first time it has happened. It's a recurring issue, something that both sides have a different opinion on. Sri Lanka has a different opinion on it, and India feels that Indian fishermen need to, of course, be given more safeguards. I don't think that is going to be the highlight of this visit. Probably may be mentioned as a line item, but I do not see that as being one of the key focus areas of this visit, because as I said, there are far more important and pressing issues for the relationship to address.
Of course, Gauri, and India is also viewed as some entity as a soft power for the most part. So in terms of that itself, right, what are the key highlights that you foresee from this visit? Prime Minister Modi is in Sri Lanka. He was received with the Guard of Honor, and these are the live visuals coming in of the key MOUs being exchanged between India and Sri Lanka to further boost the bilateral trade and bilateral tie and relationship that has been strained in the recent times, but a move to strengthen it further and also boost the South Asian power and connectivity further on. These are the live visuals coming in from Colombo, where Prime Minister Modi is on a state visit to Sri Lanka. An important one, considering this is the first visit after President Dissanayake of Sri Lanka came to power, and is also the fourth visit of Prime Minister Modi since he has come to power in India as well. He was also honoured with a state guard in Sri Lanka on his visit earlier in the day, and key MOUs and bilateral pacts being signed, as we can see the visuals. We'll also shortly see Prime Minister Modi speak on the dais on the visit and shed some light on how to boost the bilateral ties between India and Sri Lanka. Let's listen into it.
Minister of Sri Lanka, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, Ayubowan, Vanakkam, Namaste, good morning.
අපගේ රජයේ පිහිටවීමෙන් පසු ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට පැමිණෙන පළමු රාජ්‍ය නායකයා ලෙස අතිගරු ඉන්දියානු අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය ශ්‍රී නරේන්ද්‍ර මෝදි මැතිතුමා සහ සම්භාවනීය දූත පිරිස මම උණුසුම් ලෙස පිළිගන්නවා. සම්ප්‍රදායික නොවන දේශපාලන පසුබිමකින් පැමිණ සිය රට දියුණු නව ලෝකයක් කරා ගමන් කිරීමට බාධාවක් පවතින දේශපාලන සංස්කෘතිය සහ අගතීන් වෙනස් කරන බවට ජනතාව සමග ඇති කරගත් සම්මුතියකින් බලයට පැමිණි ගරු ශ්‍රී නරේන්ද්‍ර මෝදි මැතිතුමා විසින් ඉන්දියාවේ සිදු කළ දේශපාලන පරිවර්තනයට සමාන අපේක්ෂාවන්ගෙන් යුතුව
And we have similar aspirations as a government, and we appreciate all these events, and I consider it as a matter of historic value. Sri Lanka and India share close links for a long time, and this reflects this friendship. The friendship between Sri Lanka and India is so close, and Sri Lanka and India in the history has had many historic shared historic values, and today it has become one of the major aspects in the global atmosphere. We can see that Sri Lanka is a bright country in the region, not only as an important country in the region. Actually, we have to praise this achievement, and we do it with a sincere feeling. And India and Sri Lanka believe the capacity to stand up in South Asia, and we have a common objective towards that. More than this close geographical proximity, we have many other concerns. We are neighbors with deep historic, religious and cultural ties that go back over a long period of time. And our time-tested relationship is built on shared values, mutual respect and common interests. Sri Lanka and India share this diversity, and we have worked as historic partners, and we have shared religion, culture, traditions, architecture and many other aspects, and we are very close friends in relation to all these sectors. And we have many examples in this regard. In 1996, based on a security factor, two teams refused to come to Sri Lanka, and during that time India offered to engage in that activity as a gesture of friendship, and I would like to extend my gratitude towards that as well. And Sri Lanka is always focused on the national interests, and we have a foreign policy which is our future map. And a little while ago, Prime Minister Modi and I, along with our respective delegations, engaged in in-depth bilateral talks. We reviewed the current status of our bilateral cooperation and exchanged views on the ways and means to further strengthen our relations in areas of mutual interest in the future. While recalling my successful visit to New Delhi, I conveyed to Prime Minister Modi Sri Lanka's commitment to realizing the actions set out in the India-Sri Lanka joint statements, fostering partnerships for a shared future, which was adopted during that visit. I thanked Prime Minister Modi and the Government of India for the valuable support extended to Sri Lanka towards our economic recovery, growth and stability. I also conveyed that India's assistance to Sri Lanka in times of need and the continuing solidarity are deeply cherished. And as a result of this friendship, we have been able to focus on economic transformation, infrastructure development, and we have gained many results in this field. And the neighborhood first is the India's foreign policy, and according to this policy, Prime Minister Modi expressed India's full commitment and support to the economic recovery process of Sri Lanka and also for sustained economic development of Sri Lanka. And also I briefed Prime Minister Modi of our successful debt restructuring program and our current economic situation, which is heading towards recovery. I thank the Government of India for its support and cooperation in finalizing the debt restructuring agreements. And we also discussed in detail about furthering our collaboration in the already excellent defense cooperation between the two countries. I reaffirmed Sri Lanka's stance that it will not permit its territory to be used in any manner inimical to the security of India as well as towards regional stability. I requested Prime Minister Modi's intervention in convening early bilateral technical discussions pertaining to Sri Lanka's claim to the United Nations Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf for the establishment of the outer limits of the continental shelf beyond exclusive economic zone. Sri Lanka recognizes the importance of developing a digital economy to drive growth, innovation, and efficiency. Furthering this policy initiative, Prime Minister Modi and I discussed possible collaboration in digitalization in multiple domains. I thank the Government of India for the financial grant of Indian rupees 300 crores to implement the Sri Lanka's unique digital identity project. We acknowledged that connectivity plays a crucial role in realizing our economic and people-to-people ties. I thank Prime Minister for India's assistance in the construction of the Maho-Omantay railway line and for converting the credit facility of $14.9 million for the railway signaling project into a grant. I am pleased to announce that Honorable Prime Minister Modi and I will inaugurate both these projects in Anuradhapura tomorrow. Our government prioritizes ensuring reliable, affordable, and timely energy resources to achieve energy security and meeting the needs of the people. Prime Minister Modi and I elaborately discussed on further cooperation in the energy sector. Similarly, Prime Minister Modi and I exchanged views on development cooperation and agriculture and capacity building as well. We discussed about trade and investment cooperation between the two countries and sought the support of the Government of India and that Prime Minister Modi to encourage more investments from India. Our discussions focused on cooperation in the tourism sector as well. Sri Lanka, of course, receives the highest number of tourists from India. Therefore, it is important to focus on further collaboration to harness greater potential in this sector. We also extended ideas on this matter as well. Also, we requested the intervention of Honorable Prime Minister Modi towards many projects, and also of the need to have an intervention regarding the fishermen's matter. As recognizing the irreparable ecological damage caused by bottom trawling, which is a banned practice in both countries, I requested that measures be taken to stop this practice and curb IUU fishing. We are also pleased to have witnessed today the exchange of bilateral instruments between Sri Lanka and India pertaining to the areas of energy, defense cooperation, health sector cooperation, infrastructure projects, and debt restructuring. And this will bring our friendship forward. I am particularly happy to have joined Honorable Prime Minister in the virtual groundbreaking of the Sampur solar power plant that would add 120 megawatts to our national grid, and the virtual unveiling of the project for the supply of solar rooftop systems, and also for the temperature controlled agriculture warehouse in Dambulla, which is one of the first of its kind in Sri Lanka. And I thank the Prime Minister Modi and the Government of India for the kind cooperation and assistance extended in realizing these people-centering projects. And Buddhism is the most precious gift received by us from India. And I am pleased to note that tomorrow, Honorable Prime Minister Modi and his delegation will be traveling to Anuradhapura, and in Anuradhapura, we expect to pay homage to the Sri Maha Bodhi in Anuradhapura. As a symbol of great friendship and unstinted multifarious support extended by Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi to Sri Lanka and its people, I am pleased to announce that the government of Sri Lanka has decided something special, and I would like to emphasize that the support of India has been certainly important for us, and also to ensure the prosperity of the people of the country. And the people of both the countries should be able to enjoy these results. Sri Lanka, India are not just countries in a map. These countries are linked in the history, and they have trade links and very deep friendships. And I would like to emphasize that matter. Also, Honorable the Sabbasa Sabvikas concept is also a concept of timely importance. This concept is put forward by Honorable Narendra Modi, and he has always extended hands of friendship to Sri Lanka and the people of the country. As a symbol of the great friendship of unstinted support extended by the Prime Minister of India, I am pleased to announce that the government of Sri Lanka has decided to confer upon him the highest Sri Lankan honor to a foreign head of state or head of government, Sri Lanka Mitra Vibhushana. This prestigious honor, which was introduced in 2008, is conferred on heads of state and government for their friendship. And Honorable Prime Minister Modi highly deserves this honor. That is what we firmly believe. I would like to emphasize that we are on a journey towards change, and this is to have a rich country, economic progress, social equality and justice. And any citizen of the country should have a path towards prosperity in this backdrop. So, as historical friends and neighbors, we should work together to develop a prosperous future for our countries and the peoples. At this moment, we can see a lot of people-centric reformations. I would like to express my appreciation to Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his delegation for undertaking a visit in Sri Lanka. Thank you very much.
And now I would like to call upon His Excellency Sri Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of the Republic of India to kindly join His Excellency Anurak Kumar Dissanayake for the conferment of this Mitra Vibhushana Award. May I once again request the leaders to proceed to your respective lecterns. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. And now I have the honor of inviting His Excellency Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of India, to kindly deliver his statement.
Your Excellency, राष्ट्रपति दिशानायक जी, दोनों देशों के डेलीगेट्स, मीडिया के सभी साथी, नमस्कार, आयुबोवन, वणक्कम। आज राष्ट्रपति दिशानायक द्वारा श्रीलंका मित्र विभूषण से सम्मानित किया जाना मेरे लिए गौरव की बात है। यह सम्मान केवल मेरा सम्मान नहीं, बल्कि यह 140 करोड़ भारतीयों का सम्मान है। यह भारत और श्रीलंका के लोगों के बीच ऐतिहासिक संबंधों और गहरी मित्रता का सम्मान है। इस सम्मान के लिए मैं राष्ट्रपति जी का, श्रीलंका सरकार और यहाँ के लोगों का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ। फ्रेंड्स, प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में श्रीलंका का यह मेरा चौथा दौरा है। 29 की मेरी पिछली यात्रा एक बहुत ही संवेदनशील समय पर हुई थी। उस समय मेरा विश्वास था कि श्रीलंका विल राइज एंड राइज स्ट्रॉन्गर। मैं श्रीलंका के लोगों के धैर्य और साहस की सराहना करता हूं और आज श्रीलंका को वापिस प्रगति के पथ पर देखकर हर्ष महसूस कर रहा हूं। भारत के लिए यह गर्व का विषय है कि हमने एक सच्चे पड़ोसी मित्र के रूप में अपने कर्तव्यों का निर्वहन किया है। चाहे 2019 का आतंकी हमला हो, कोविड महामारी हो या हाल में आया आर्थिक संकट, हर कठिन परिस्थिति में हम श्रीलंका के लोगों के साथ खड़े रहे। मुझे महान तमिल संत थिरुवल्लुवर की बात याद आ रही है। उन्होंने कहा था, शेयर करिए याबुल नटपिण आदुपुल वेणेक्करिए याबुल कापू। अर्थात चुनौतियों और शत्रुओं के विरुद्ध एक सच्चे मित्र और उसकी मित्रता की ढाल से बढ़कर और क्या सुरक्षा हो सकती है। फ्रेंड्स, राष्ट्रपति दिशानायक ने अपनी पहली विदेश यात्रा के लिए भारत को चुना था और उनके पहले विदेशी अतिथि बनने का सौभाग्य मुझे मिला है। यह हमारे विशेष संबंधों की गहराई का प्रतीक है। हमारी नेबरहुड फर्स्ट पॉलिसी और विजन महासागर दोनों में श्रीलंका का विशेष स्थान है। पिछले 4 महीनों में राष्ट्रपति दिसानायक की भारत यात्रा के बाद से हमारे सहयोग में उल्लेखनीय प्रगति हुई है। सामपुर सोलर पावर प्लांट से श्रीलंका की ऊर्जा सुविधा में मदद मिलेगी। मल्टी प्रोडक्ट पाइपलाइन के निर्माण और त्रिंकोमाली को ऊर्जा हब के रूप में विकसित किए जाने के लिए जो समझौता हुआ है, उसका लाभ श्रीलंका के सभी लोगों को मिलेगा। दोनों देशों के बीच ग्रिड इंटरकनेक्टिविटी समझौते से श्रीलंका के लिए बिजली एक्सपोर्ट करने के विकल्प खुलेंगे। मुझे खुशी है कि आज श्रीलंका में धार्मिक स्थलों के लिए 5000 सोलर रूफटॉप सिस्टम का उद्घाटन किया जाएगा। श्रीलंका यूनिक डिजिटल आइडेंटिटी प्रोजेक्ट में भी हम सहयोग करेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, भारत ने सबका साथ सबका विकास के विजन को अपनाया है। हम अपने पार्टनर देशों की प्राथमिकताओं को भी महत्व देते हैं। पिछले 6 महीनों में ही हमने $100 मिलियन से अधिक राशि के लोन को ग्रांट में बदला है। हमारी द्विपक्षीय डेट रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग एग्रीमेंट से श्रीलंका के लोगों को तत्काल सहायता और राहत मिलेगी। आज हमने इंटरेस्ट की दर को भी कम करने का निर्णय लिया है। यह प्रतीक है कि आज भी भारत श्रीलंका के लोगों के साथ खड़ा है। पूर्वी प्रांतों के सामाजिक और आर्थिक विकास के लिए लगभग 2.4 बिलियन लंकन रुपए का सहयोग पैकेज दिया जाएगा। आज हमने किसानों की भलाई के लिए श्रीलंका के सबसे बड़े वेयर हाउसेज का भी उद्घाटन किया। कल हम माहो ओमनथाई रेल लाइन का उद्घाटन करेंगे और माहो अनुराधपुरा स्टेशन पर सिग्नल सिस्टम का भी शिलान्यास करेंगे। कांके संतुरई पोर्ट से आधुनिकीकरण के लिए काम जल्द ही शुरू किया जाएगा। श्रीलंका में इंडियन ओरिजिन तमिल कम्युनिटी के लिए 10,000 घरों का निर्माण कार्य जल्द पूरा किया जाएगा। श्रीलंका के 700 अतिरिक्त कार्मिकों को भारत में प्रशिक्षण प्रदान किया जाएगा। इसमें सांसद, न्यायपालिका से जुड़े लोग, उद्यमी, मीडियाकर्मी के साथ साथ युवा लीडर्स भी शामिल होंगे। फ्रेंड, हमारा मानना है कि हमारे सुरक्षा हित समान है। दोनों देशों की सुरक्षा एक दूसरे से जुड़ी है और एक दूसरे पर निर्भर है। भारत के हितों के प्रति उनकी संवेदनाओं के लिए मैं राष्ट्रपति दिसानायक का आभारी हूं। रक्षा सहयोग में संपन्न किए गए महत्वपूर्ण समझौते का हम स्वागत करते हैं। कोलंबो सिक्योरिटी कॉन्क्लेव और हिंद महासागर में सुरक्षा सहयोग पर भी मिलकर काम करने के लिए हम सहमत हैं। फ्रेंड्स, भारत और श्रीलंका के बीच सदियों पुराने आध्यात्मिक और आत्मीयता भरे संबंध है। मुझे यह बताते हुए अत्यंत खुशी है कि 1960 में मेरे होम स्टेट गुजरात के अरावली में मिले भगवान बुद्ध के रेलिस को श्रीलंका में दर्शन के लिए भेजा जा रहा है। त्रिकोमाली के थिरुकोनेश्वरम मंदिर के रिनोवेशन में भारत सहयोग देगा। अनुराधपुरा महाबोधि मंदिर परिसर में सेक्रेड सिटी और नोरेलिया में सीता एलिया मंदिर के निर्माण में भी भारत सहयोग करेगा। फ्रेंड्स, हमने मछुआरों की आजीविका से जुड़े मुद्दों पर भी चर्चा की। हम सहमत हैं कि हमें इस मामले में एक मानवीय अप्रोच के साथ आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। हमने मछुआरों को तुरंत रिहा किया जाने और उनकी बोट्स को वापस भेजने पर भी बल दिया। हमने श्रीलंका में रिकंस्ट्रक्शन और रिकंसिलिएशन पर भी बात की। राष्ट्रपति दिसानायक ने अपने समावेशी दृष्टिकोण के बारे में मुझे बताया। हम आशा करते हैं कि श्रीलंका सरकार तमिलों की आकांक्षाओं को पूरा करेगी और श्रीलंका में संविधान के पूर्ण इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और प्रोविजनल काउंसिल इलेक्शन कराने की अपनी प्रतिबद्धता को पूरा करेगी। फ्रेंड, भारत और श्रीलंका का संबंध आपसी विश्वास और सद्भावना पर आधारित है। अपने लोगों की आकांक्षाओं और आशाओं को पूरा करने के लिए हम साथ मिलकर काम करते रहेंगे। एक बार फिर मैं गर्मजोशीपूर्ण स्वागत के लिए राष्ट्रपति दिसानायक का हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूं। मुझे विश्वास है कि आने वाले समय में हम अपनी भागीदारी को नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाएंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नंद्री बोहोमा स्तुति।